What if that identity you hold on to so tightly, the very core of who you think you are, is really just a well-worn path in your brain? And what if I told you that with the right know-how, the right tools, you could carve out brand new paths, forging a new identity not in years, not even in months, but starting instantly? You might believe your personality, your limits, your very self are set in stone. But what if that's the biggest illusion holding you back? Think about it. A huge part of what you call you is actually a construct, a set of deeply embedded neural patterns. And guess what? Like any pattern, it can be shaken up. It can be rewritten. That feeling of being stuck, it's not a life sentence. It's just your brain running on old software. But today, we're going to explore how to hit the refresh button hard. For way too long, we've bought into the idea that our identity is some static, unchangeable thing. This belief, often lurking beneath the surface, steers our actions, our choices, and ultimately, the very reality we live in. You tell yourself, I'm just not a confident person, or I'm not disciplined, or I could never do that. Each of those thoughts isn't just passing through. It's like another layer of cement on those neural pathways, locking you into that version of yourself. Now, why is it so important to break free? Because this old identity acts like a pair of colored glasses, tinting how you see the world and what you believe is possible for yourself. It caps your potential, stops you from chasing your biggest dreams, and can even feed feelings of frustration and being stuck in a rut. You want to change, maybe even experience what some might call a reality shift, but this old self, this old neural blueprint, is standing in your way. The price of staying the same is huge. It's a life lived inside self-made walls, a reality hemmed in by outdated programming. Every single day you operate from this old identity, you're making those brain circuits that hold you prisoner even stronger. But here's the fantastic news, the truly game-changing news. Your brain is built for change. As a neuroscientist, I'm here to tell you, you are not hardwired to be one way for the rest of your life. The secret to truly rapid personal transformation is an amazing feature of your brain called neuroplasticity. Simply put, neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to reorganize itself by creating new neural connections all throughout your life. For decades, the thinking was that the adult brain was pretty much fixed. We now know that's just not true. Your brain is constantly being molded by your thoughts, your experiences, and your actions. Picture your brain as a dynamic, ever-shifting landscape. When you consistently think certain thoughts, do specific things, or focus on a new way of being, you are literally carving out new pathways in your brain. These are the pathways that will become the foundation of your new identity. Over time, as you guide this process intentionally, these new paths get stronger, more dominant. This makes your desired identity feel more natural, more like you, more automatic. It's not just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about actively doing things that physically restructure your brain. Recent research even hints that the stability of our identity is connected to specific brainwave patterns, especially alpha waves. Disruptions can lead to feeling mixed up about who you are, but by consciously working with our brain, we can build coherence. This isn't some kind of magic trick. It's solid neuroscience, and it means that changing who you are isn't just a mental game. It's a physical one too. So how do we actually use this incredible power of neuroplasticity to dissolve that old identity and build a new one, starting right now? Let's get into some specific, actionable brain hacks you can use today. The first is focused visualization. When you vividly imagine yourself living as your desired identity, thinking, feeling, and acting like that new you, you fire up the same neural circuits that would be active if you were actually having those experiences. Your brain doesn't always draw a clear line between a vividly imagined scene and a real one. This repeated activation strengthens these new neural pathways, making them easier to access and more robust. Let's try a quick exercise. If you're comfortable, close your eyes for a moment. Now bring to mind the identity you want to step into. Don't just think about it, feel it. What does this version of you feel like? Confident, at peace, powerful, creative? See yourself going through your day as this new person. How do you walk? How do you talk? How do you connect with others? What choices are you making? Really immerse yourself in this mental rehearsal for just 60 seconds. Get all your senses involved in this internal movie. Okay, open your eyes. Even a short burst of focused visualization starts laying down the tracks for this new you. Regular focused visualization gets your brain ready for this new identity, making it much easier to actually be that person in your everyday life. It's like creating a mental blueprint that your brain then works to bring to life. The second hack is deliberate practice. Repetition is king when it comes to skill, and it's also king for building neural pathways. Studies like those showing how learning to juggle physically changes brain structure demonstrate that consistently acting in ways that match your new identity embeds these new behaviors at a neural level. Every time you choose an action that fits your desired self, you strengthen that corresponding brain circuit. This isn't about making massive, dramatic changes overnight. It's about small, deliberate actions done over and over. If your new identity is a disciplined individual, maybe you start by making your bed the second you get up, or commit to a 10-minute focused work sprint without any distractions. If your new identity is more outgoing, challenge yourself to start one tiny conversation each day. The trick is to find these micro behaviors that line up with your desired self and practice them like crazy, especially when it feels a bit weird or unnatural. At first, it might feel like you're just acting, but your brain is taking notes. Through deliberate practice, those unfamiliar behaviors of your new identity will slowly become familiar, then comfortable, and eventually second nature. Your brain literally adapts to what you repeatedly do. The third hack is mindful self-observation. The simple act of consciously watching your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without instantly judging them can be a surprisingly powerful force for change. This self-awareness creates a bit of mental breathing room, a pause, between a trigger and your usual response. In that space, you get the power to choose a new response, one that fits your desired identity instead of just defaulting to old programming. It helps break the autopilot of old patterns. Throughout your day, try to become an impartial observer of what's going on inside you. When you notice an old thought pattern pop up, maybe a self-limiting belief tied to your old identity, just acknowledge it. For example, there's that thought again that says, "I'm not good enough." Don't wrestle with it. Don't try to squash it. Just see it as a mental event. Same goes for reactive emotions or habitual behaviors. This act of noticing creates a separation, helping you see these patterns as something your brain does, not who you are. Mindful self-observation loosens the grip of old, unwanted neural patterns by dragging them into the light of awareness. This gives you that choice point to actively start building new ones. The fourth hack is conscious reframing of limiting beliefs. So much of our identity is run by subconscious set points. These are deeply rooted beliefs and assumptions about ourselves and how the world works. To really shift your identity, you've got to drag these limiting beliefs out into the open, question if they're even true, and then actively swap them out with empowering alternatives. This is all about actively reprogramming your subconscious. First, pinpoint a limiting belief connected to your old identity. For example, "I'm always awkward in social situations." Then ask yourself, is this always true? Can I find any evidence, even small examples, where this wasn't the case? Next, create an empowering reframe. Not just a hollow affirmation, but a believable alternative. Maybe something like, "I'm learning to feel more comfortable in social situations, and every interaction is a chance to practice." Or I can approach social interactions with curiosity and warmth. Then actively look for chances to live by this new belief. Consciously reframing limiting beliefs helps tear down the foundation of your old identity at the subconscious level and build a new, more empowering internal story that supports the identity you're choosing. The fifth and final hack is strategic emotional regulation. Your emotional state has a huge impact on neuroplasticity and how well new experiences and identities get locked in. Strong negative emotions can reinforce old, unhelpful patterns. On the flip side, positive and regulated emotional states can create a more fertile ground for building new neural pathways. Learning to manage your emotional responses is a big deal for making new identity shifts stick. Weave simple emotional regulation techniques into your day. This could be as easy as taking 3 deep, slow breaths when you feel stress or an old emotional trigger surfacing. The physiological sigh, 2 quick inhales through the nose followed by a long, slow exhale through the mouth, is a fantastic research-backed way to quickly calm your nervous system. Even short journaling prompts focused on gratitude or spotting small wins can shift your emotional baseline. The aim isn't to suppress emotions, but to manage their intensity and how long they stick around so they don't throw your rewiring efforts off track. By learning to regulate your emotions, you create a more stable and supportive internal environment for neuroplastic change. This helps your new identity really take root and flourish. What we've talked about today isn't just some interesting theory, it's a practical roadmap to becoming the architect of your own identity. Through focused visualization, deliberately practicing new behaviors, mindfully observing yourself, consciously reframing those limiting beliefs, and strategically regulating your emotions, you are actively tapping into the mechanisms of neuroplasticity. You're telling your brain, loud and clear, who you are choosing to become. Remember, your brain is designed to adapt. It's literally waiting for your instructions. This process of rewiring your brain and changing your identity isn't about snapping your fingers and becoming someone totally different in a superficial way. It's about bit by bit, yet deeply and profoundly, shifting your neural landscape. The goal is for your thoughts, feelings, and actions to naturally line up with the best version of yourself, the one you truly want to be. This internal shift inevitably sparks an external one. Your reality starts to reflect your new identity. This is the core of the self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's backed by neuroscience. The instant change happens the very moment you decide to use these techniques, the moment you take conscious command of your neural programming. The lasting change builds with consistent practice. The power to redefine yourself isn't out there somewhere. It's right here inside you, within the incredible design of your brain. Don't wait another day to start this journey. Begin today. Pick just one technique we discussed and really commit to practicing it. I genuinely love to hear about your experiences. Share which hack clicks with you the most, or any moment of insight you have in the comments below. And if you're ready to explore more about the fascinating world of neuroscience and how it can seriously upgrade your life, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more insights and practical strategies. You have the tools, you have the capacity. Now go rewire your brain and consciously create the identity and the reality you truly want.